Want to welcome you all back to the 23-24 academic school year, and we're going to start off our program today with a year in review. So welcome back. Obviously, we had a great year last year and looking forward to another great year. We're going to start our program today with new hires and changes in status. And first, our big news this year is our new president, administration, the 8th president of the college, Dr. Tony Hawkins, president. And then we have additional new hires and changes in status. In the Academic Affairs Division, Danielle Britton, Director of Training, Education, and Workforce Development. Tara Clancy, Senior Staff Assistant in Admissions. Owen Conklin, Director of Admissions. Allison Chantry, Student Success Coach. Carrie Gallagher, Director of Marketing, Communications, and Public Information. Christina Hasseman, Associate Professor in Health Studies. There's more. In the Academic Affairs Division, we have Leora Kenny, Assistant Professor in Nursing. Dr. Stephanie Malmberg, Associate Dean for Distance Learning, Professional Development, and Student Success. Brett Massler-Warren, Assistant Professor, Performing Arts, Music. Kristen Oliver, Assistant Professor, Psychology and Human Services. Abby Perkins, Academic Advisor in the Academic Advising Division. And Odessa Quiones, Staff Assistant in Admissions. Additional hires and changes in status in the Academic Affairs Division: Elizabeth Rivera, Senior Staff Assistant in the Entrepreneurial Assistance Program. Varija Sankapali, Institutional Research Analysis in Institutional Effectiveness. Jane Spears, Senior Staff Assistant in Admissions. Victoria Tompkins, Instructor in the Hospitality Program. And Marissa Tubad, Web Developer in Enrollment Management. In the Student Development Division, we have Lori Brewer, Staff Assistant for the Dean of Students. Dennis Campos, Supervising Campus Peace Officer, Public Safety. Steve Decker, Housing Facilities Lead, Housing. Blessed McFarland, Graduate Residence Director in Housing. And Callis Nunes, Assistant Director of Residence Life. New hires and changes in status in the Administrative and Financial Affairs Division. We have Larry Allen, Budget and Institutional Effectiveness Officer, Institutional Effectiveness, also part of Academic Affairs. Wendy Butner, Senior Account Clerk in Purchasing. Harley Heatherman, Custodial Worker Maintenance. Daniel Muniz, Custodial Worker Maintenance. Jacqueline Nichols, Staff Assistant Finance. Veronica Rott, Staff Assistant Finance. Jack Sherwood, Custodial Worker in Maintenance. And now for our list of retirees. Sylvia Brega, Director of Marketing and Communications for 11 years of service. Mark Demetris in the Biology Department, 30 years of service. Kevin Drum, Administration, former President, 13 years of service. Susan George, Information Technology Systems, 39 years of service. Annette Leroy, Business and Professional Studies, 18 years of service. Robert Miller Jr., Custodial Services, 33 years of service. And Chuang Wen, Foreign Languages, ESL and Speech, 17 years of service. Additional retirees: Daryl Pato, Plant Operations and Maintenance for 20 years of service, and Suzanne Shepard, English Department, 27 years of service. We also have new tenured faculty this year: Sarah Balancic, Rezad Clark, Ashley Culpepper, Sarah Forbes, Susha Maduri, Kenneth Mansfield III, Sarah Rose, Clint Ryan, Samantha Smith, and Miriam Stanton. Congratulations. The SUNY Chancellor's Award recipients from last year: Excellence in Adjunct Teaching was Joelle Mutter-Muen, Physical Therapy Assistant Department, and Dr. Melissa Risley, History, Philosophy, and Social Science Department. Congratulations. And our Student Excellence Award winners: Claudia Shermack, Criminal Justice Correction Student, and Sherry Florence, Physical Therapist Assistant Student. And then our Spirit Award winners: Erin O'Hara Leslie, Medical Assisting in Health Studies Department, and Diane O'Haran, English Department. Congratulations. Next we have our in memory: Deandra Matthews, Criminal Justice Student; Dave Pitcher, English Department; Deborah Hibbard, Counseling and Psychology and Human Services Department. We also have Tuong Nguyen, Foreign Languages, ESL and Speech Department; Evelyn Katusik, Office Technologies Department; and David Romanowski, American Dining Creations. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tony Hawkins, the 8th president of SUNY Broome Community College, to give our address.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm like, am I here alone? But before I get started, I'm new, and I know that there are many new hires, and no one got a chance to stand up and be recognized. If you're new, I want everyone to know that you're new. So if your name was listed as a new employee of SUNY Broome, could you please stand up and just really get recognized so we know who the newbies are? Excellent. Excellent. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. I don't feel so alone after all. Good morning, SUNY Broome faculty, staff, administrators, and a little later we'll invite some students to join us. This morning is indeed another first in a series of firsts for me. I attended my first Rumble Ponies game. I ate Speedies. I received second place in the Celebrity Chef category of the Speedy Fest cooking contest. I even rode a carousel. And now this is my first faculty staff assembly. It's been a very crazy summer of change, to say the least. I hope everyone had a restful summer. I know what the experience is like to be a faculty member coming back after a summer break. You've had mixed feelings with the summer ending. There's a feeling of excitement to meet new students and reunite with faculty colleagues. But also there's this sense of tension of having to get back on a schedule and plan what am I going to wear and what am I going to present. You know, that little bit of tension exists between being both excited as well as anxious. However, this year's end of summer, there's something different. There is a little bit of anxiety, anticipation, and expectations over the arrival of a new president. I will explore the topic of change, or more importantly, as I refer to contextualize it, the topic of transition in a bit. But first, I have to appreciate that everyone, or many people, have come up to me to ask me about my move and my transition to Binghamton. So I'm happy to report that the contents of my home are no longer in my home. They were loaded on a truck about a week ago. And could possibly arrive at any time now. So we've got the phone on vibrate and buzz just in case, you know, I get a phone call that says go back to where you're living because we're dropping your stuff off. I've moved out of my extended stay hotel, and I'm currently living in an empty apartment in the city of Binghamton. There are 2 inflatable mattresses. There's 1 chair, plastic forks, spoons, and knives, and the mattress boxes make for great end tables. Yet despite these little challenges, my commitment to SUNY Broome remains strong. Each day gives me one more reason to love this county. And my first interaction with the college, at that time I promised to listen and learn, to explore and discover SUNY Broome. And over the last 45 days, I've already been exposed to the talented students, innovative employees, and mission-focused teams that make up our organization. These opportunities to talk to faculty, staff, and students have enriched my understanding and appreciation for the college, and I will continue to listen and learn throughout the start of the semester. While I've taken this little detour away from the president's address, I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude to the following people. I want to thank and express gratitude to the members of the senior leadership team, the executive council, to the directors, to deans, and any other speakers that are going to be presenting today. I want to thank you. I also want to thank Danielle Bechtold, the Marcom team, and our incredible facilities crew for organizing and arranging and promoting this particular event this morning. And I want to give a special shout out to our student panel. This year, we will hear directly from a select group of students about what they see as part of their world as a student here at the college. They're going to share who they are as part of this assembly this morning. So I want to thank them in advance for speaking to us, and speaking in front of a group of faculty, staff, and administrators is not an easy task. So hopefully we will welcome them with excitement and enthusiasm and listen in on what they have to share. I also want to thank everyone in the room for allowing me to add 60 minutes to our regularly scheduled assembly. I know it's a change, and I appreciate everyone for going along with this transition as I move into my position as a new leader. So I've mentioned change several times so far. And at this time, I want to acknowledge or name this moment of change, or as I prefer to call it, to recognize and name the transition that's happening here at SUNY Broome. Change is an event. It's an activity. It's a moment in time. You move into a new home, you leave a new job, you become a parent, you even become a president, or a president is announced at an institution, and those are moments. Those are moments in change. This is my first presidential address, so this is, for me, a moment of change in what I hope to be a very long and successful transition and presidency. But change is a moment. Transition is a process. And it's a process that unfolds both before, during, and after these moments or these change events. SUNY Broome is in a period of transition. And it began the day that Dr. Drum announced his retirement. And all of a sudden made us realize that things are going to be different. The college has been undergoing a transition since that time, and will continue to do it for a few months afterwards. And I'm excited that we will proceed through this next phase of change together, and will set the course for the future of this institution. But for now, I would like us to concentrate your attention on the next 100 days. So 100 days of time. My process of change and transformation, I promise, will be intentional. It will be framed around and executed around 3 principles and concepts. We've been calling these the 3 C's. Communication. So hopefully we'll have dialogic communication, thoughtful communication, open and rich conversation. The second C is culture, where I'll spend time listening and learning. As an outsider coming into an established culture, it's important for me to kind of know what the mores are, what the timing of a semester feels like at a new institution. And to make connections, not just to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, but to really do things that are relevant and important and impactful. I promise a pattern of open, transparent, and regular communication. I will openly share information with you as it comes forward. I also will promote a culture of collaboration and care by getting to know each of you, each and every one of you. You should feel psychologically safe in coming and talking to me about your experiences. And the bottom line is I'm hoping to reestablish and rebuild a climate of civility and respect. It's the one thing I've heard a little bit underlying a lot of the conversations. So we're going to be working on a culture of collaboration and care, civility and respect. And whenever possible, I will include data about the institution's operations, about our finances, about our goals, so that any action that we take will be both relevant and impactful, and you'll know why. So the bottom line is, this transition will employ focused, open learning, transparent communication, and ongoing actions that facilitate meaningful and measurable change. There's that word again. So I'm asking for the first 100 days, about 3.5 months, for us to spend time getting to know each other. I'll express to you who I am, how I operate over the next 3.5 months during this first 100 days of listening and learning. What I'd like to do the following things. I would like to develop an intimate understanding of SUNY Broome's points of pride, their pains and opportunity. Our pain and opportunity. I can't speak for that pronoun any longer. It is ours, both internally and externally. So what do we think are the pride points, the pain points, and the opportunities internally, and do the same externally as well. I want to learn the nomenclature and the culture of SUNY Broome by examining the organizational structure and identifying needs of presidential focus. I want to build a foundation of strong relationships within and across the organization and develop a deep understanding of how external stakeholders perceive SUNY Broome within the communities that we serve and partner, but also within the communities that we've yet to serve. So really expanding our lens a little broader. I would like to develop an understanding of SUNY Broome and its relationship to the State University of New York, because we have a dotted line connection to SUNY. I'd like to connect, and I have already begun this process, connecting with key elected officials to understand the legislative environment of SUNY Broome, and to build a relationship with the Broome Community College Foundation and donors to affirm a framework of advancing philanthropy. Finally, I'd like to establish a connection, because I've met so many of them, establishing a connection with SUNY Broome alumni and expand their connection to the college and their ambassadorship as members of the SUNY Broome brand. So here's where I add a disclaimer. I want to remind you that a successful transition takes time. Engaging with stakeholders, building relationships, and establishing the level of trust that's needed to make effective change, it doesn't happen overnight. So I'm going to ask for patience, and I'm also going to ask for forgiveness. Two very important components that I'm going to ask of you. I'll ask a lot of you, but give me a little bit of time. Let me mess up. Don't make it so obvious that I've messed up, but if I've messed up, just say, whoops, we don't do it that way, or you might want to rethink this. Diana Lenzo does that to me every day. You might want to reconsider this. But I'm asking for just a little time over this period of transition. Managing a new president's post-appointment transition is often delegated to an ad hoc group that's been appointed by the Board of Trustees. They're charged with facilitating a smooth and efficient leadership change. And like most committees, several guiding principles are considered to ensure that this group is effective. We have established a presidential transition committee, and that group has the following objectives. They are to design a process for the new president to listen and learn about the current and the future plans of the institution. What are the priorities? What are the opportunities and challenges that are facing SUNY Broome, both internally and externally, those groups that we serve, that the college serves. They will come up with a series of recommended meetings and opportunities for us to gather information, mostly through open forums, and you'll hear a little bit more about the open forums once those dates are finalized. But they'll include open forums with faculty, with students, with staff, with alumni, with donors, with business leaders, with community leaders, and then there's an others category for those that just kind of want to come and talk, both on campus and off campus. And thirdly, this group will identify and recommend some major strategic objectives and action steps to help guide my leadership, focus on the traditional work that we've done that must be accomplished, while simultaneously concentrating on the future of what is transformational. And we will be a transformational institution, I promise. So the PTC, which is our little acronym now, we're introducing more acronyms to the lexicon. The PTC is a relatively small group in size. It's made up of representatives across the campus itself, as well as members within the community. It's chaired by 3 of the board members. 3 trustees will chair the group. And you will see representation both, I believe there are 2 pages. So this is more of the campus space page. And then the second page are our community partners and community leaders. The members include diverse backgrounds and areas of expertise, both at the institution as well as the community. And they'll add value because of this diversity to the work that we're doing. This is not the only group that I'm going to listen to. I'm going to listen to everyone through open forums, through the use of technology to gather information. But this is the group that really will frame how I get introduced to the college, to conduct and facilitate the open forums themselves, and then ultimately help me process information. So these are indeed the members. So in addition to my regular attempts to get around campus to meet you, there will be at least 6 open campus forums. And these sessions will include faculty, staff, administrators, alumni, donors, community members, et cetera. I encourage you to attend any of them. You don't have to go to a session because it's for faculty, only faculty. But we really will focus on topics of those areas when we present the questions with which folks will respond to. So you can come to any of them, you can participate, you can listen if you just want to sit and listen, you can speak if you feel compelled to speak. And we'll also be doing a series of check-ins throughout the semester using technology. So if you thought about something and didn't get a chance to articulate it at a meeting, we'll give you an opportunity through a portal to provide information and share. The process will help me to know what is being heard, and this group will help me synthesize that information about what I've heard. The product, because we always have to have a product, the product will be a presidential transition advisory plan. So we will create a document to really record all of the elements of this transition. It does a variety of things. First of all, it immortalizes the activity in this change. So we really do have a record of what's happened. It allows us to share this information with SUNY, with Middle States, with our Board of Trustees and our community, what we've done. So there will be a plan that's developed. The plan will include recommendations of action opportunities within areas of the institution and areas that I should focus on and consider. The recommendations should always keep students first. It should be measurable, so we'll be measuring our success by the quality of the outcomes themselves. It should spark innovation and transformation. It should expand our partnerships and ultimately nurture a culture of care. This plan will be the jumping off point for our strategic plan. So you'll hear about our strategic planning process. So this will be the starting point of the strategic planning process. The strategic plan will then connect with our academic master plan. It will guide our facilities planning, and it will become our model of student success, because we think students are really the reason that we're here. So with this laid out, this is who I am. And you'll notice that the theme for the day, but also the theme for the year is this is who I am. Our students will talk about it. We'll have lots of presentations throughout the semester and the year, identifying and exploring individuals that make up our community, so that by the end of the year, we know who we are. So we're able to say, this is who we are. But I've explained how I frame this transition around the 3 C's: communication, culture, and connection. These are the 3 hallmarks of who I am. I think I'm a pretty good communicator. I really try to understand a culture that I'm about to enter. Don't want to come in and start kicking things around and making a mess of things. And I understand the value of an ecosystem. So culture is important to me. And making connections are important to me as well. I mentioned in my interview, I have had multiple positions, but each of those positions have been 8 years or longer in duration, because I like to make connections with the communities that I work and serve. So over the next few months, you'll have opportunities to get to know me. I will present myself as my authentic self. I don't hide, I don't shy away from things. You will ask questions, and when I can answer them, I will answer them directly and authentically. And to be honest with you, I come from the ranks of faculty. So I do have a bit of experience standing in front of a classroom on the first day of the semester, so I know what that feels like. I've disagreed with administration over policies and processes. I've been a coordinator, I've been a dean, I've been a faculty leader, but most of all, I've been a champion for teaching and learning. So I've always been student-focused, but more so these days when our students bring so much to college besides their thirst for what I have to say. They bring issues of mental health, of issues of food and housing insecurity, and their progress may be disrupted by financial burdens, raising families, trauma, and just plain life. On Monday, Donna Beagle spoke to a group of faculty and staff on the topic of poverty. She described her experience as a daughter of migrant workers in Oregon and how, as an adult in her 20s, college was a foreign land to her. The mere act of receiving a syllabus was anxiety-producing until one of her professors explained to her that the weekly calendar that was attached to the syllabus didn't have to be completed all in one day. She got this document that she was not familiar with, and she said, how do I finish all this today? And then she got the second syllabus, and they had a schedule, and she was about to give up because she didn't understand, what the syllabus was really trying to do to help her. Today, Dr. Beagle teaches communication and gives workshops on the characteristics of poverty and the experiences of students in the classroom. By a show of hands, how many people attended both the keynote and the workshop? It's pretty wonderful. It was a great way to start. Thank you for spending time and really engaging in that conversation with us. I want SUNY Broome to be the place not only where students of poverty, but those who are older and those students who come from underrepresented populations, they find success here because of what we do. We take that extra step. Because I believe that under the right circumstances and conditions that all students can be successful. And we can and we must create those conditions. That's a little bit of who I am. I will guide this institution through this period of transition. I'm excited and look forward to it. As I said before, it won't happen in the first 100 days, so please don't set the bar that high for me. I'm a human, and I'm not superhuman, but I'm going to ask for patience. Dr. Richard Shake, who is an emeritus professor at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, and he's also one of my professors, he recently said in a quote from the Association of Community College Trustees, he said that a rush by a new president to produce a grand vision or a comprehensive strategic plan will almost certainly be counterproductive and questioned, if not resisted, by campus constituencies. The president needs time to listen, learn, contemplate, and synthesize. Time to marinate in the college's organizational culture. Time to locate areas of excellence and pockets of mediocrity. Time to cultivate political capital. Time to identify current and potential resources, and most of all, time to think, end quote. I've hit the ground running, and in the short 45 days that I've been here, I've met all of the political leaders in the county, including the county executive, the legislative leader, the mayor and members of the city council of Binghamton. I believe the council president is here as well. Just want to acknowledge that I saw him in the parking lot. There he is. Nice to see you again, sir. Different relationship this time, isn't it? It's great to see you. I met our assemblywoman, our assemblyman, the state senator, the president of BU and his staff. I attended 2 Rotary clubs. I thank the Broome Community College Foundation Board and their generous supporters. And internally, I've made the rounds of the campus for a week of meet and treat tours, sharing Hornet-themed donuts from Wegmans. And most importantly, for my own personal health and wellness, I have found an apartment. Although it's currently empty, I do have a place that I can lock. I found great restaurants, and I have found a local gym, which keeps me balanced and sane. I look forward to engaging with the wonderful faculty that we have, as well as the students here at SUNY Broome. And our panel of students today will begin that process for us by finding out more who our students are and why their voices are critical to the transition of this leadership and into this new administration. And I really can't wait. And so, I ask that you follow me. I need you to tell me who you are and what I can do to make things better. I may not always be able to provide you with the answers that you want to hear, but I'm an exceptionally good listener. And I invite you to attend the open forums and to respond to the transition surveys that are issued and other requests to keep us informed about how the process is going and things that we need to pay attention to. I'd like to leave you with a short video. It's one of my favorite videos on leadership. Indulge me. I hope you enjoy it. I think it's completely illustrative of this period that we're at and kind of how I'm feeling as the new president. So, can I start this? Oh. I'm gonna need a little help, Marcom. There we go.
If you've learned a lot about leadership and watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut, and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd, and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers, because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is overglorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
So don't leave me standing here by myself. Thank you all very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful semester. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hawkins. And I really thought you were going to make us all dance, so I'm a little bit relieved, but thank you. I was a little worried, but no, it was great. Thank you. So just to cover some of the progress in academic affairs and kind of talk about our direction moving forward, really, we just want to, I think it's really important to move on from a lot of the progress that we made last year. And just everyone really getting on board in terms of our pathways and the guided pathways was pretty amazing. I've talked about it before, but we now have 27 programs that are really in the pathways model and have been cleaned up, and there we are. And so I think we're going to continue to make that progress. Most of our programs are set, but what really I think we have to continue on is the pathways group is looking at the onboarding progress and really taking a look at how we help students to focus on their career and make sure that we get them on that path and keep them on that path. So that's part of our next process. And we've done a really good job with that. The advising team has been very, very busy and really working hard to get people on their pathways, working with the success coaches to make sure that we are on that right path. And I think we've made a lot of progress, but we will continue to do so. And the other piece really is continuing with the financial wellness piece. And Dr. Donna Beagle, as Dr. Hawkins said, did an amazing job, and I think really got people thinking about that. And a lot of, I mean, really, I think it's just really looking at differences and kind of understanding where students are and accepting where they are and helping them to move forward. You know, we've gotten that a lot too, even with adult education. I studied adult education in my doctoral program, and a lot of it is really just taking their experience and valuing students' experiences and really listening. And I think, You know, those messages are really important, and I'm glad that we're going to have the opportunity today with Dr. Ruska and Dr. Hawkins to lead a group of students and really hear their thoughts and who they are. So I think we're making a lot of progress there. As Dr. Hawkins mentioned, Dr. Donna Beagle was amazing, and I think that the nice thing about that is we are going to have additional opportunities to continue with that. The Pathways group is actually planning a poverty course here at the college. Two groups are going to be set up for that. And basically, the course will be called Poverty 101, Learning How to Be the Difference for SUNY Broome Students. And it's a professional development mini course, and it's designed to teach participants how to improve educational outcomes for students who are living in the crisis of poverty. It consists of 3 two-hour sessions that will walk you through the lived experiences of many of our students and community residents, helping participants to gain awareness, teaching and learning strategies, and a personalized action plan for improving the educational experience of our students who are in fact living in the war zone of poverty. So I'm very excited about that, and you'll hear more information coming out about that. And we'll also be sending some additional students to the Donna Beagle Institute this fall to participate in it. We have coaches now, and they will also be facilitating this progress. So very excited about that. I also wanted to talk a little bit about some of our initiatives, and I put it down as STEM and workforce initiatives, and workforce is a very broad term. It can be credit, non-credit, but a lot of what we've been doing is really making sure that we're providing the community with the employees that they need. So I put it as workforce. It's going to include all of those divisions, but I did also mention STEM because they've done some things that I wanted to recognize as well. But we'll start out really with some of the workforce things that have been happening. So we have free Google certificates with grant funding through Jobs for the Future, working with computer science and the Business Information Technology program. And those certificates, we actually have 87 people participating in those, so that's pretty significant. We have new micro-credentials from the BIT department and the Health Sciences department that were approved. And for the first time, we actually have on-demand micro-credentials that the BIT department has participated in, which will allow students at any time to pick up and take these courses. So that's really one of the new ways that we're building the pathways into the college as well. I'm very impressed with the Hornet Academy that Danielle Britton has been working on, and many of you are participating in that. Many of the faculty are actually going to be teaching some of those sessions. We have 6th and 8th grader that are coming into the college on Saturdays throughout the school year to participate in a campus-wide series of programs, highlighting things such as health studies, hospitality, event management, human services and social work, civil engineering, robotics, food science, physical therapy, rad tech, criminal justice, emergency services, beat production, visual arts, computer technology, clinical lab, social media, web design, sports studies, nursing, hygiene, dental hygiene, mechatronics, so that students coming from 6th to 8th grade can see some of the opportunities that the college actually has and will be able to participate. Many faculty have signed up to do that, so we're really excited to get those younger students on campus who can start finding a pathway into the college. So looking forward to that, and thank you, Danielle Britton, and all of the faculty who are participating in that. It'll be a great way to introduce students to the college. In addition, all of our divisions at the college have really been very active in working toward promoting workforce and being very innovative. In our liberal arts, we have a fully high-flex chemical dependency program that will be starting in the fall. Many participants. The whole course will be delivered in the high-flex format, and that has taken a lot of work. And I want to thank the IT department who's set up the high-flex equipment as well as the facilities in helping to get those rooms ready. In BPS, the BIT innovation and many more articulations again in business and accounting that they've continued to make. And criminal justice has moved all of their facilities into one lab space that they're together in one building and can deliver their program a little more consistency. Again, a significant help from IT as well as the facilities department. So thank you for all of that work. STEM worked very hard to do a lot of outreach. You've heard a lot about STEM this year, but they have really been out in the community and really reaching out to the businesses. They've worked very closely with BAE, Lockheed, Raymond, Amphenol, We're also going to be the site for the Battery Academy, which is pretty significant. So BU and SUNY Broome, as well as other colleges, are part of the Battery grant program, as you've all heard of. And there's some programs that are going to be delivered virtually. However, we're actually going to be able to have the on-site training and the hands-on. So that's pretty significant, bringing a lot of students to campus and really being a big part of the Build Back Better battery technology. So very excited about that, and that has taken a lot of effort on the STEM department. And the STEM department's efforts in all of that outreach has really shown, because their enrollment is actually the one that's up the most this year. So really some big improvement, and thanks to all of the STEM division for your outreach into the community, as well as all of you. Everyone's been out there, and I really appreciate it. Culinary also, they're my last one on the list, has done some significant improvements, and particularly being innovative with their 717 program is really making a difference for students, and I appreciate that as well, so thank you. The Health Science Division has received several grants. A few of them that I'll mention are the Nursing Curriculum and Professional Development Award, the SUNY High Needs Nursing Award, the SUNY High Needs Simulation Award, and the SUNY High Needs Micro-Credentials. So a lot of outreach there that will bring both credit and non-credit students into the pathway to get into those programs. So very excited about the work that's been done, and I think it's really going to help us with enrollment as we continue to reach out into the community and find different pathways for enrollment as well, and work on our retention efforts by working as a college completely all centered on the students and helping students with their success. So looking forward to that. And I mentioned STEM, so I will show you the exciting thing that the STEM division is working on now. They've received a car kit, and they will be building an electric car with the students. They've had an electric car for years. This is going to be the new electric car that they'll be building, and I think I was told that I might be second on the list to drive it when it's built, but I don't know if that's still the case, but I'm hopeful because it looks pretty fun and pretty exciting. So they also did a great job talking all about the electric car yesterday when Assemblyman Lepardo was here, and learned a lot about the electric car, so thank you. Also in the Division of Academic Affairs, we're very proud of one of our own. Michael Stamens was Certified Executive Chef, was named ACF Chef Educator of the Year. He was at a competition in New Orleans, so congratulations. And I don't remember what the dish was, but I know it was all vegan, right? Very creative, and that's a pretty significant recognition, so we're very proud of that. Another recognition, Timothy Doolittle was named from one of 8 2023 Vanguard Award winners for CTA programs in the nursing program, which is very impressive, so congratulations to the nursing department. And back one more, I did not mention that in addition to Michael Stamens in the CEC, they also had a student, Alexandra, who participated and won a bronze medal in a culinary competition and was coached by Chef Stamens, as well as Victoria Tompkins, Maria Montemagno, sorry Maria, and the team at the CEC, so congratulations. And then the nice thing that happened finally last year, after I think a 3-year hiatus, was that the travel trips came back, and so we had some pretty significant travel trips. The Everglades was back in full force, so students went there in the January break. Once again, our students went to Iceland, which is an amazing opportunity, and we were able to have Tim Skinner go along as well, so I think you're going to have some pretty exciting podcasts and videos to present to the community and to the college community. And my pictures went away. There we go. The travel trip to London was back on in May. The COIL trip that was delayed for 3 years finally took place after a lot of planning, and it was pretty amazing. And all of these groups had some pretty amazing blogs, but these are just a few of the photos, and I know that they'll be more than happy to show many of these throughout the year and encourage more people to join. But pretty exciting trip to Mexico. And then the environmental science has gone to New Hampshire as well, and they'll be going to South Carolina for their oceanography program. And this is a result of them being very innovative and creative, working with the 717 schedule that has allowed more flexibility in order to get the students to go there. And a lot of these, in addition to being very exciting and great for the students, I think will be great recruiting tools. So a lot of really, really good work this year. What's that? Did I miss Ireland? It was here. Oh, there it is. Yes, we also had healthcare in Ireland, which was amazing, led by Maureen and Christina Hasman, which was really exciting. And also Irish literature took place, and we don't have any photos yet, but we will have them, because I think we want to have kind of a big opening reception and look at all of the travel trips and be a really nice recruitment tool, and open that up to the community as well to see what we're really doing here at the college, because we are really doing a lot of great things, and sometimes it's kind of kept a secret or not as public as it should be. So getting all of that information out there and taking the opportunity to look at all of the exciting things that are happening here at the college. And with that, I want to thank all of you for your great work, and really looking forward to working with all of you again this year. We'll be following our academic master plan moving forward, and we'll be working to develop plans for the upcoming year. So thanks for all of your work. Look forward to working with all of you. And now it is my pleasure to ask the new shared governance group, or the people who are in process of transitioning the shared governance group, to come up, which is Erin Maroli, Dr. Andrew Haggerty, and Brittany Richardson.
Well, this is going to be great.
I'm not dancing.
Take it away. Hello, everyone. I had the pleasure of feeling what it felt like being a 10-month faculty this summer, so I'm coming back with you. But really, Andrew and Erin did a lot of great work over the summer and really put this presentation together, so I'm just here holding the clicker, and I'll jump in when needed. But we want to say welcome back to everyone, and we're really excited with the work that the Shared Governance Restructuring Work Group put in all last year and the year before, and it feels like the year before that. Like, so much kind of culminated together to what we have put forward. So at the end of last semester, our new plan was approved by the college and then the Board of Trustees, and then a transition group has been working over the summer to really nail down some draft bylaws that we hope to have for you all to view soon. But we're just going to give some updates today, kind of what the progress is moving forward, and kind of use this as a kickoff for shared governance, because we're really excited about what's to come.
Hi, everybody. So as the mission has not changed of shared governance, but essentially to represent and promote a broad range of perspectives, input, and influence on governance issues, to facilitate timely, factual, and systematic two-way communication and information dissemination between constituents and the administration relative to decisions related to SUNY Broome policy and matters important to the development of the college, and to support a more transparent and inclusive decision-making process. And that's really what was at the mission of the work group over the past probably 1.5 to 2 years, was coming up with a new process, bodies that really embodied this mission to make sure that decision-making processes and input was really a collaborative process. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Erin Maruli, Staff Associate for Student Retention, and the outgoing chair of what was College Assembly.
Andrew Haggerty. I am the former chair of the College for Academic, the Council for Academic Issues.
Brittany Richardson, Staff Associate for Enrollment Management and former chair of the Council for Operational Issues.
Good luck. The College Senate. Okay, so I'll take this one. So College Senate really is a combination of what was College Assembly and Council for Operational Issues. So essentially, it will be the body that's going to discuss and recommend items that affect day-to-day operations of the campus. So really, any topic that would have gone to either College Assembly or Council for Operational Issues that aren't academic. You know, campus constituencies can come to the body and give feedback. Any policy that's not academic will also be discussed at the College Senate. really any issue that affects the entire institution or affects more than one area of the college. And the College Senate is going to function as a representative body, so with only those elected having voting rights.
But everyone's welcome to attend.
Yes, yes. Any of these meetings are open meetings for all of campus, but we will have elections for College Senate. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that later on in the presentation, but if you were previously in College Assembly and you would like to continue, you will have to nominate yourself again and go through the voting process to be on the College Senate or COI.
Okay. All right. We will also have a faculty/academic senate. It's a little bit of a portmanteau term. The Faculty Academic Senate will make recommendations directly to the president on academic issues, policies, and standards, as well as aspects of student life that relate to the educational process. We could look at the rest of the slide. It's probably not as clearly written as maybe we should desire, but essentially, a lot of people were involved in this process, and I'd really like to thank Aaron and Brittany for helping with it. A lot of people were involved, and we really tried to reach out and get the voices of as many people as possible in terms of what they wanted. We were looking at the faculty voice. The faculty really seemed to indicate that they wanted a forum where they can engage in robust, honest discussions of academic matters and really try to put our ideas forward as to how to really ensure student success, right? And how to really engage with students and give them the best possible educational experience. So we're looking for a forum where we can capture that voice. We're looking for opportunities for faculty members who really want to get involved to start taking leadership positions. We want to hear about ideas, initiatives, proposals, which are going to be coming right from the classroom, and then put them up right into them and create realities and opportunities for our students. So it's a forum for the faculty to express their voices and really try to put student success first.
I don't want to speak too much for Student Assembly, but Student Assembly will be saying, as was before, we think the students are really doing some great things with their work in Student Assembly, so we did not want to touch that, and that is their doing, but we're really looking forward to further collaborating with them. We were so excited by how involved our Student Assembly was last year and that they wanted to participate in shared governance and really have their voices be heard, so we're really hoping to keep that momentum going for next year because we are all here because of them, and they're an integral part of shared governance. So they will obviously be discussing issues that pertain to students on campus. They will have representatives on both bodies as well, discussing issues concerning campus life, student-related policies, and really working alongside the other two bodies. And then faculty and staff that are wishing to speak at Student Assembly meeting, whether to give an update or share some information with them, promote a cool travel opportunity or something, there's a request form, you email Student Assembly at sunybroome.edu to get on their agenda. So that is Student Assembly. Nick, did I miss anything? Good? Great, thank you.
Yeah, just on the student assembly part, we didn't necessarily agree in our transition committee on everything, which is really to be expected. But one thing that we solidly agreed upon is that in the new mission statements for shared governance, right in there will be a commitment to encouraging students to take really productive roles in governance issues. That's going to be part of the new mission of shared governance, is to really get student involved and do whatever we can to encourage students to find their voice, make their voice heard, and get results.
So a lot of this information coming up has not changed, so as always we have a shared governance website. You can submit any kind of issues that you see, and if you're not sure who to go to, you can submit them right to within our shared governance website. You can email sharedgovernance@sunybroome.edu. We will be working really hard in the next couple weeks to update the website. I believe we just got our new meeting dates put on there, but we'll be working hard as soon as we have established bodies for College Senate to get all of the new members on there so you know who your representative is and who you can share information to. And then we'll also have on there the new bylaws. Our constitution will be updated. That was approved by the Board of Trustees, the updated constitution. So once the bylaws are established by the new groups, we will make sure that gets on the website as well. Similarly, how to submit an issue. So they can be submitted anonymously to your shared governance representative. And again, as soon as we have College Senate established, we will make sure everyone knows who the representative is. For the Faculty Academic Senate.
Well, for the Faculty Academic Senate, it's a body of the whole. So if you are a faculty member, and for simplicity's sake, that's as defined under the contract, you're a member of the Faculty Senate. Congratulations. There will be opportunities for those who really want to get involved in governance issues and have their voices heard to do so. There won't be, you're your own representative in a sense, but we'll also have opportunities for people who really want to represent their area to step forward and do so.
We usually every semester have a Your Voice Matters event. We typically do that once a semester, and we've switched to Zoom in the past couple years. We'll probably continue that format. Sometimes we come up with a topic related to something that's going on campus. Other times we just kind of leave it open, but that's also another opportunity each semester to have your voice heard. And then obviously contacting one of the shared governance chairs, which again will all be part of the election process for the next year.
I always like to give a plug on this one. While there is the option to submit anonymously, I always encourage folks to not do so. We won't share it publicly, but I'm a person who really likes follow through and to let people know we did listen. And so if you put your information down, then we can provide you with personal follow-up on the issue. Sometimes things get submitted and conversations are already happening around those, and it's great to be like, so glad you brought this up. We're actually having conversations and XYZ about this now. So while you can submit anonymously, I encourage you to put your name so that way we can provide that personal follow-up with you. And Aaron touched on this, but you're good. Your voice matters. This is already covered, so I'm not going to say the same things again. But meeting structure, I can talk about this. So this is just generally wanting to give an overview of what does a shared governance meeting look like. We have a lot of new faces here, so a call to order, establish quorum. That's what's needed to vote for the Faculty Academic Senate. That's going to look real fun. But the certain number of folks we need, approved alternates. If you are a elected member of the College Senate and you can't attend, we encourage you to find an alternate from your constituency so they still have a voice in the meeting. Approve the meeting minutes from the last meeting. As a reminder, all meeting minutes are posted within my college so that you can view what happened, stay up to date. We often heard in the work groups and focus groups, oh, we don't know what's going on. Or people said, I've heard this in 12 different meetings. So, look at the minutes, have an idea, and get a pulse on what's happening on campus. We then will go through any correspondence, announcements, reminders, any standing reports, old business, things that have been discussed at the previous meeting that we still need to close the loop on, any new business. This is the opportunity for members to share issues, announcements, updates, exciting things happening on campus we may want folks to know about, and then we adjourn. So meetings, I think, are slated for an hour and a half? Yep, hour and a half. I've been at meetings that have a motion to go further. And then I think Aaron had a record 9-minute college assembly meeting last year. So hopefully with the new structure, though, that won't happen because they're going to be less frequent and more, I don't know what I'm looking for, specific and functional.
Okay. Your role is, if you're in College Senate, is to attend all the meetings. If you are on the Faculty Academic Senate, that's everybody. And some of you occasionally go to classrooms and talk to students and won't be able to come at that time. So we're not really expecting everybody to show up all the time. But we're going to try to make it so that if you have your voice, even if you can't make the meeting, there's going to be ways for you to be heard, right, and spoken to, and we're really going to encourage that.
So we need you. So like I said, if you were on previously College Assembly or COI and you were interested in being on shared governance again, I'm looking at you, Val, we need you to run again. And so we do have nominations out right now. It's been shared a couple times through like campus email, and it'll also be in the Hive HQ. So we're looking for people. You can nominate people within your own constituency, or you can self-nominate as well. So there is a short URL here, sunybroome.edu/SG nominations. So really encourage you to either self-nominate or nominate a colleague. The nomination form will be open until Friday, September 1st, and then elections will start. We'll reach out to those who've been nominated to see if they are actually interested in running, and then we'll do elections from there if there's multiple people for the same role.
Just want to add on this form too is also nominations for the chair of the Faculty Academic Senate. While it's a body of the whole, there will need to be a chair to kind of lead us through this. So please, faculty, also look at that. The form has logic, so you select your constituency, and then it'll only show the people you can nominate who are part of the same constituency. If you notice any issues in the form logic, just send the shared governance email. I did it. I'll throw myself out there. So just let me know if you notice a funky thing in the logic.
Oh, yeah, so we will update membership lists essentially once those are all set on the website. Oh, sorry, there's more. So the meetings, sorry, the meetings, the College Senate meetings, we are switching from the bodies used to meet every 2 weeks. We are now switching to meeting once a month. So if you are interested in running, they will be less frequent meetings. And it's structured that there will still be a meeting every 2 weeks between College Senate and the Faculty Academic Senate, but each body will only meet once a month. For an hour and a half. College Senate will be on Zoom as well as in Wales, and then the Faculty Academic Senate will also be on Zoom. And Decker, sorry, it says either or. We are waiting on room confirmation. It's Decker 201, and of course all of that will be posted everywhere we can. And then Student Assembly does have meetings as well. They are bi-weekly on Fridays at 3 in Decker 201, and meetings are always posted on the Student Assembly page on the SWARM. And hopefully that's
Now
it.
we're done. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
So our next presenter is Dr. Carol Ross Scott, Vice President for Student Development and Chief Diversity Officer.
That's because I need an introduction. Okay. Good morning, everybody. It's working. On behalf of the Division of Student Development, I want to welcome everybody to this new and exciting Fall 23. As we continue to work at bringing the campus back to life, before I get into our plans, there are a couple of groups that I really, really, really want to go on record and thank. Sponsored programs, Shelley and Danielle, killed it for the division this summer. Killed it. I know without them, I'd have major, major, major issues in the Child Care Center, so thank you. The other group that I want to thank, and you know, please understand that we really love everybody, but these groups really have stood out for us. Dave and his maintenance team, oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. And I really want to thank them because I absolutely drive them nuts about stuff. If you go into the CAF, it's bright. That disgusting red wall is white. We've got black and gold stripes, and it really, really looks nice. They've also helped us in housing, get some stuff out of the truck and into the rooms because they know that we have students to house this weekend, and they help us spruce up space for our students. And so from me, on behalf of the division, I really, really thank you guys so much for us. And because we really appreciate the support. We are also in the process of trying to finalize our interim associate vice president and dean of students. Dr. Scott Kane will be with us sometime in September, so our Dean of Students seat will be filled. But we will also be launching the search for the permanent dean this September. So everybody will hear that news and what the process will be, because I'll also be looking for support from the campus, because the Dean of Students is a critical role for our students and the college. I also, we don't really get to introduce part-time people, but we have a part-time office manager, Mia Tucker, who works for the Dean of Students office. So let's talk sports. You know, that's my favorite topic. We have a new softball turf field out at Bag's Eye. We didn't do it, the county did it, so we want to thank the county for that generosity, but our team will be playing out there. And for those of you who still have your softball skills, I still want to play the women's softball team, so please look out for that news. If you can play, because the goal is to beat them, if you can play, please send me a note, because we will be playing the students in softball. Also, we have volleyball and soccer sports are up and running. The volleyball team had games yesterday. Our next game is the 29th. Please come out and support the team. And for those of you who are weekend athletes, we do have, well, he's the director of sports medicine, but he's really an athletic trainer. We do have a full-time athletic trainer on board now, so you can work out, sprain your ankle, and get some help. Okay, so please do. But please check out the schedule and get out there and support their teams, because they need us. We are a Hornets family. Just in case you were looking to get that check from the slush fund, FSA has moved. They are no longer in this building and back in the corner where you can't really get to them. They're in the student accounts office. So please make sure you go if you need a check or you have a question, particularly for student activities, getting your reimbursements. Please make sure that you remember that they're in the student accounts office. You can go there, go up to the window, and you can get some help. Also, if you're an advisor, please make sure, and a student org advisor, please make sure that you read the handbook, because there's some updated policies and procedures in there for accessing the Student Activities Fund. But FSA has moved, still great service, still great folks to work with, but they're in student accounts now. We want to make sure that our community is well. Counseling services are still available. They're available daily from 8 to 4:30. If our students need support after hours, we still have the protocol program system that is running. Our students are eligible for or can see the personal counselors for up to 6 sessions per semester. If there is a need for a student to have more sessions than that, then they will work with the counselors to determine what's most appropriate. Please remember that we only have 2.5 FTE, and our students need a lot of help. There's always a waiting list. But we still have 2 Zen rooms. There's a Zen room in this building, and there's a Zen room in Old Sciences. So when you want to Zen on out and just relax and chill, you can go to one of the other rooms. Or while the weather is nice, before it snows, you know, we have some hammocks. There's hammocks outside in the quad that's just over here, and there's a hammock that's outside of the student village on the grass. So go and swing in the hammocks, and in case you fall out and bust your ankle, you can come see the athletic trainer. Also know that our health services nurse practitioner will be here Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays from 8:30 to 4 o'clock. Please, 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 faculty, remind your students, if they don't have their immunization forms in, the MMR and the meningitis, if they don't have it in by September the 19th, we will drop them from class. And the reason why we have to do that is because The state will come and they will audit our records and they will fine us. And they almost fined us a lot of money last time. So we have to be much more strict with regards to making sure the students complete their immunization information. So please remind them about that. Also, if you want the counselors to come and present to your student organization or your classes, please just reach out to us, because we know that sometimes students are shy and maybe they will feel a little better if they can put a face to a name, but the goal is to ensure that our students are emotionally and physically well enough to sit in the classroom and learn. That is very, very important for us. All hands are on deck to offer students extra support that's needed. The Child Care Center is fully operational after all that drama this past spring, I'm happy to say. And the drama's not over, but it's just eased a little bit. But we do have a task force that's working on the sustainability of that program, from staffing to finding alternative funds to support that endeavor. Lisa Straley will be working with the Child Care Center as we search for an assistant director to support that program. Lori Brewer, who works out of the dean's office, is working with our students who are student parents. Our family empowerment program students have done exceptionally well with the support of Lori, but we are expanding that for her cohort to include foster youth, homeless. She's also our homeless liaison with SUNY, and she'll be working with students who are on conduct probation, as well as seeing the emergency grants. A little bit about the emergency grants. After census, that application will open. Please, if you have a student who has an emergency, not that we're going to pay their monthly bills, but students who have a real emergency, their car stopped, they're about to cut off their electricity, they just need some kind of financial support to get through a one-time shot. That application opens up after September the 19th. It's overseen by a committee. The students have to have applied for financial aid and understand their status. And just because you apply for the emergency grant does not mean that you're going to get it. But we do have that support that's available thanks to the foundation, but those funds are available. So please encourage your students to apply if they're in financial crisis and need one-time help, but we are not there to pay their monthly bills. And that's what has happened in the past. In addition, please remember that our students are moving in this weekend, Saturday, as a matter of fact, and we would like as much help as we can because we're welcoming our students to campus. Also note that Marie Finelli will be serving as our interim Title IX coordinator until we can get that program settled. EOP had a wonderful summer program. Thanks to all who were involved. We helped 31 students get a jump start on college life. As we continue to bring the campus back to life, because you know that's my mission, I love a college that is, I would really like to be known as the #1 party school. But I'm working on it. Please encourage your students to participate in activities. Dr. Nick has club trainings happening on Mondays and Tuesdays. Our back to school activities begin next Tuesday, and the picnic with the president is on Thursday. There's also going to be a trip to the state fair, but more importantly, you can check the swarm. The swarm will tell you everything. The other thing that I want to remind everybody of is because sometimes we forget. Last year we had our first student engagement, we want to call it annual. We had a student engagement awards night. It's in the spring. sometimes we forget how engaged and special our students are in the fall. So can you please keep it in the back of your mind and make little notes about the students that have been involved and how well that they've done, so that we can also honor the students in the fall and remember them when the applications come out in the spring. I think that's really, really important. The other thing that we are doing is we're trying to spruce up some space. In our hearts, we're going to have a student union soon. I'm looking at Sully. We're going to have a student union soon, but in the meantime, we've tried to convert some lounge space and some game room space for our students until that project really hits the ground and we actually break ground with it. But please encourage your students to get involved, because yeah, they come here to get a degree, but when we're talking about the development and the success of a whole student, it's that out of the classroom experience. As I've shared before, Marie Finelli will be serving as the interim Title IX coordinator, and during the next few weeks, we're going to be working on honing that procedure, because according to SUNY, we had some conflicts in our process. But the notification of incidents is going to remain the same. Student rights and responsibilities is still under the leadership of Jay out of the Dean of Students office. He's looking for people who are interested in serving on our hearing board, our conduct board. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to Jay. It's also our hope that the students who get on probation will be working with Lori. That's important, because sometimes we put them on probation and we don't check up on them and they wind up back in the conduct process. And so we're going to do a lot more intervention with those students. Jay will also be available to speak to classes, even the college success classes, regardless of the division. Jay can come and speak to them and talk to them about rights and responsibilities. I think that's very, very important. And lastly, the President's Task Force on Diversity and Inclusion is going to go through an evolution with our new president. Thank goodness. I look forward to working with him on the task force, so please look for news. This is who I am is our goal for this year, and to recognize and appreciate and meet individuals where they are in their journey. And so on behalf of my team and the division, thank you guys, and I look forward to enjoying this semester with you. This is my dog, Onyx. Laura.
Our next speaker today is Laura Hodel, Assistant Vice President for Human Resources and Student Finance. Oh, there you are.
Hi, everybody. I know we're a little while long, and I also know that sometimes when I start talking about student finances and financial aid, people tell me they'd rather watch AstroTurf grow. So I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible. There's a lot of changes coming up in the student finance process on the federal level, and I just think it's really important that I share that information with you so that you're prepared when our students come towards you. So, the federal government has been talking for years about simplifying the financial aid process. I think most of us are familiar with the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. For the last 8 years or so, this application has opened on October 1st. So we start reaching out to students, we say, let's get the FAFSA done, let's help you with the process. This year, they are moving it to hopefully December. So the goal is December for students to do the FAFSA for next year, but I'm not holding my breath. We will be sharing information as it becomes available. Part of this overhaul is to simplify the process for our students and to help bring more eligibility to these groups. The FAFSA is going to be quicker, that's what we've been told, but it's also going to be a change. So if people are used to filling it out a certain way, there's going to be some changes, and it's supposed to impact all corners of our institution. So the government really wants us to share with the college community that these changes are coming up. The good news is more low-income students and families will have access to federal Pell Grants. If you're not aware, the Pell Grant is the largest of the federal programs. It provides up to $7,000 a year to our highest need students. And for a lot of students, that's the difference between coming and not. Unfortunately, the logic is making it that less financial aid will be available for families who have siblings in school. The good news is my good friend Kathy will be coming up to speak after me, and we have an extraordinarily robust foundation program here who provides millions of dollars to our students each year to help them reach their goals. The other change that's going to be a bit of a sticky wicket is that if families file taxes, you don't have to have filed taxes in order to complete the FAFSA, but if you did, your information is going to have to match with the IRS, and that's going to be something that's very troublesome. We've seen it in the past. So I want to say that our financial aid office is happy to come into your classroom, if you would like, for us just to give an overview, say who we are, let them know where they can find us, and help them through the process. We'll be working with admissions, we will be going out to the high schools, but we also want to help our students that are here currently. Even if they're going to be graduating or transferring, we want to help them through that process so they're prepared for their next step. And talk about a couple other quick things that impact all of our students. One is the residency certificate requirement. This is a requirement of all New York State SUNY community colleges. Even if somebody has lived in New York State their entire life, they still need to submit a certificate of residency in order to get that in-state tuition rate. Those are due to the Student Accounts Office 30 days into the semester. If it's not turned in by then, the counties will no longer accept them. We will send out reminders to students and let them know that we need that residency certificate. This year, I'm happy to say, thanks to our students, I went and spoke to our student assembly last year. They had questions about the residency process. They didn't understand why it was so cumbersome. They didn't understand why all the counties were different. They worked to advocate to change the process at the state level. So I really want to acknowledge our students for all their hard work with doing that. Now there is a universal process for each county where our students can apply online for that residency certificate. So the information is on our website, and we are always happy to answer questions and get that taken care of. But it is time sensitive, so if a student's saying, I don't understand why I have out-of-state charges, that is why, and we will help them. Refund period. This is something that's we have a lot of new people. At the four-year schools, you can start classes, and during that first week, you can get 100% refund. The community colleges are set up differently. Once we start the first day of classes, students become responsible for 100% of the fees and 25% of the tuition. We'll send an email out probably tomorrow to all registered students, letting them know we're excited to have them join us. We're excited to have the semester start for them. But if something has happened, we want them to make sure that they drop so that they don't owe us a bill. The last thing we want is for a student to have a financial burden and not be able to attend in a future date. So students will be getting those emails. The registrar's office, admissions office, financial aid, and student accounts office have a 24/7 help desk that's available. So a student can call at 2 in the morning and they'll be able to reach someone who will answer their questions. So don't fear if you're worried about a student having questions over the weekend. We do have services there to assist them. I want to talk a little bit about our Veterans and Military Affairs office. I'm not sure if everyone is aware, but we have a Veterans Resource Center in our office. There's a lovely kitchen area, there's a lounge area. It's a great support space for our veterans. There's workstations. It's just a place where veterans can gather. And I want to acknowledge our veterans that are here that are part of our faculty and staff. I think we have a very wonderful, strong, robust veterans group, and I want to thank them. Last year, in partnership with the foundation, we co-hosted the Twin Tiers Honor Flight. I'm happy to say that we are going to be hosting another Twin Tiers Honor Flight this year, so look for more information on that. Just let me get this in. Attendance is extremely important. Marty Guzzi, my good friend Marty, hi Marty, sent out an email earlier this week saying these are the dates that attendance is due. In order to disperse excess financial aid to our students, we have to confirm their attendance. So it's really, really, really important that you get your attendance in when it is due, because it means the difference between our students getting their money 1 week or 3 weeks later. And as we learned from Donna Beagle, our students, a lot of them are in the war zone of poverty, and they are relying on those funds to help them. So if everybody could just please make note, put it on the calendar, and get their attendance in. The other date that I want to mention is the 60% mark. Students earn financial aid as they go along. So a student, in order to earn 100% of their financial aid, has to attend 60% of the semester. If a student is thinking about dropping, I encourage you to have them find their way to the financial aid office so that we can talk to them and see what options they may have. Sometimes it may be just staying in a class just for an extra day or a week. Again, the last thing we want is for our students to owe money. We want to be able to help them. Advisors are great. They're right upstairs from us, so they will walk them on down. But feel free, if a student comes to you, to bridge that gap and do the soft handoff and bring them to our office. Sometimes it can be scary for them to talk about money. So if they reach out to you, I want you to know that you can just reach out to us, and we will do the best we can to help our students. Dr. Carroll mentioned this, but we have a student emergency fund. This came about out of our wellness committee. And as she mentioned, it is for emergencies. A lot of students will drop because of some $500 or less crisis. This fund is there to help them be able to persist. Okay, your car broke down. You're not going to be able to afford to fix it. Here's the student emergency fund so that you will have a working vehicle to get to campus and be successful. We do check to make sure that they've applied for financial aid because we want to guarantee that they are getting all of the funds that they are eligible for, in addition to the emergency grant if needed. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I don't know how many of you know, but I took over for Lynn Fedorchak last year, so I'm also your human resources officer. Hi. We created these little cue cards that if you scan it, it will take you to our website to show our job vacancies. What's also great on there is that we also are adding our student vacancies, so our work study positions. Our students are going to be able just to click on the QR code, go to that website, click on View Student Employment, and that'll list all of the different work study jobs on campus. More information will be coming out. There'll be a form if you have openings in your office. But we really wanted a very visible, easy place for our students to be able to see where they may find work study positions on campus. So as I mentioned, we're doing a little overhaul of the program. And again, this is for the ease of our students. I don't want, with many things, them to be going around with paperwork from office to office. As we have done with the employment, we are streamlining the way we do things and making sure that information is protected behind our multi-factor authentication. As much as I don't want employee information stolen or out there, I also adamantly do not want student information out there. So if you are going to be hiring a student, you will be posting the information on the website. The student will email the supervisor. They'll do an interview, as they always have, and you'll just put in their name and contact information. From there, it's going to funnel through to our financial aid friends. They will look to see what their eligibility is, and then we're going to connect them with payroll, who will sit down with them to go over those tax forms, to go over the direct deposit, to do those things that really it should be coming out of our areas to help them, to understand what they're filling out. They will then be handed off to the HR office, where we will do what's called the I-9 verification for our new student employees, and we will let you know that they are good to go and they are able to start work. So bear with us. Again, this is a transition, so there will be bumps, and there probably will be some challenges, but my hope is that it will streamline and make the process more secure and easier for our students. Helpful information. Also on our website is our SUNY Broome Employee Handbook. The handbook has all of our lovely policies, procedures, information about our EAP program. We have a lot of information about our trainings that are required. I'm sure everybody's gotten the emails about our Title IX trainings, so please be sure to attend one of those when you're able. The handbook will be updated for the 23-24 year shortly, and we will send out an email and let everybody know when that is updated. Other helpful information within my college is the SUNY Broome Human Resources documents. There you can find all the information on searches, contracts, if there have been any MOUs changes, positions, anything really human resources related. We're really working hard to make sure that all of our documents are electronic and trying to be much less paper heavy as we have been in the past. Always, always, always contact human resources if you have a question. Everybody's situation is different. So if you hear somebody say something about their benefits, it may not be the same as yours. So please, we have a wonderful, lovely, friendly staff. We normally have a lot of chocolate. This week has been rough, so the stash is a little low, but we're always happy to see people stop by and see us in the Whale Center. And with that, I will hand it over to Kathy.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. This is one of my top 5 favorite days of the academic year, when I get to welcome all of my friends back to campus, and hope you all had a great summer. I wanted to start by addressing the "This is who I am" theme. And so while many of you may have heard me tell you that I am very blessed to have this job, I love it very much. It's great. It's the greatest gig I've ever had in my life. And coming this close to retirement, I don't know when, but there's something else that you might not know about me, and it has to do with I am celebrating my greatest accomplishment today. And that is 32 years ago today, I had my one and only child. So I just wanted to let you know my son Nate is 32 years old today, celebrating a birthday out in Minneapolis, Minnesota, but is in the process of waiting for the moving van to come and lose their furniture as they move to the East Coast, and we get to be closer and see him a lot more. So I just wanted to do that plug, because, whoo. So people love it. I'm usually last on the agenda, so I'm excited the students are going to be here today, just because, you know, everybody stuck around for the students, so yay. I have a lot of things to say, and many people have certainly touched on just the role that the foundation and alumni office play here on campus. And we're just truly grateful to have the opportunity to work with all of you to help ensure that our students succeed. And the rest of the stuff is just bonus. It's gravy. It's wonderful. So we just usually put a collage together, and I don't know if you probably can't see that as well, but it just gives me, because my remarks I just whipped off in the back of the room there. Everyone else is so prepared. But I'm busy raising money. Just a bunch of highlights that we've had this year, and I'll give you a few statistics about the dollars that we raised and supported back onto campus with. But it was a busy year. We had a lot of fun in working with our colleagues across campus to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the first incoming class here at the college. And we had some fun with the time capsule. We're going to be getting ready to plop that in the ground in the next couple weeks. We'll let you know when. And we also have done some of this here. I don't know if you can see this, but our primary purpose really is to raise private support to provide scholarships to students. That's the top priority of the foundation. And we're really fortunate that over the course of the 54 years that we've been in existence, the actual foundation piece, we've provided support to this campus in excess of $55 million. That's a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, I'm very, and we're grateful that we have the opportunity to do it in conjunction with all of you. You help your contributions. There's a point in my remarks that I usually tell. When we meet with a donor, and we have a very generous donor family, we never hear anybody tell us that they want to give us money because the people in the foundation are so nice. They don't tell us that they want to give us money because, you know, they have a little excess money laying around. Many of them have some kind of connection that changed their life that has to do with Broome or the previous, named institutions. And that's not because of us. It's because of all of the people that they interact with on a daily basis. And that can be anything from a faculty member to an academic advisor to the custodian who might welcome a student who's lost and having some difficulty in finding their way. And I just wanted to tell you just a tiny brief story about a couple that I met with about 3.5 weeks ago, that neither of them graduated from SUNY Broome. However, their family was extremely financially successful. Well, the husband had an opportunity to come here. They came from a family of resources, and he knew that he was going to go to, an Ivy League school or a big school somewhere. And he had the opportunity, after he completed his freshman year of college in the Midwest, to come home and find out that if he took 3 summer courses, he would be able to have enough credits because of his activity in his freshman year to move on to his junior year in college when he got back. So he enrolled in 2 summer sessions. He took one class in one of the sessions he took 2 classes, in the other session he took 1. And his job for the summer really was to just go to school. So P.S., he goes on to get his degree back at his institution, fast forward a little bit, and get other degrees and really have a very distinguished career. But he always remembered the impact that was made on him by professors, by people on this campus when he was here for that 9 weeks in the summer. So we got together because they wanted to talk to me about an estate plan that they are working on, which is ultimately will come to this institution a 10-figure gift, minimum. And, that wasn't somebody who came here as a student or who worked here or whatever, he was here for 9 weeks. Yes, he did work in the community. He did work with a lot of our graduates. He hired a lot of our graduates. But this campus made such an impact on him. And all these years later, and the couple is in their 80s right now. So I just wanted to let you know that, one, fundraising isn't rocket science. We aren't like, have all these special skills and everything. It's about how we cultivate the relationship, but we haven't done the cultivating. All of you have, and then when they're ready to do something, then they come to us and, people think, oh, wow, great job, and everything. But this is a lifetime, and, I hope I don't, I'm not going to be here when this gift comes in, and probably most of you won't, because there's a little bit of a relationship of how the money will get distributed, but it's coming. And it's because of the historical impact that was had on that. So I always like to tell a story about how it's everybody. So you don't know the student that you helped. I know Barbara Hughes isn't here because they went down. So the day of the Speedy Fest, I'm not even talking about anything about the slides. The day of the Speedy Fest, we closed early because they had to get the parking for the people to come to go over to Otsenangle Park. And I happened to be here because I was just trying to wrap up some stuff, and I ran into a student who was trying to enroll, and the campus was empty because we all left, kind of. And so Barbara Hughes had, I talked to him, and he said, oh, I think I got help. Barbara, who's in our IT department, she did a wonderful job in trying to interface and help him, and then we made sure that he got connected in the numbers he needed so that he could come back on Monday and be all set. So I just wanted to say, whatever it is that you're doing, keep it up the great work. The campus support that we provide for fiscal year 2022 to 2023, we had nearly $1.9 million in campus support. And that's impressive, but it's not everything. So we didn't support any big capital projects. In the years that we do, that number can increase significantly. So this was basically the programmatic support. It's all of the student scholarships, which is like about $1.6 million of the money because that's where the need is greatest. We also have a lot of faculty development support. We've gotten a lot of gifts that allow us to spend money every year to turn over to the college so you all can get the support and training and access to things that you might not otherwise be able to do. Our departmental program support, anything associated with alumni or stuff that isn't covered by the campus budget, we can help with that, and that's about $250,000 last year. And then campus activities, all those other things, somewhere around $30,000 a year. So I think it gives you an idea of a lot of the programs that we're talked about. We're honored to be able to help with those kind of things, and that's really basically due to the generosity of all of our donors over the year and years, especially on our endowed funds. Just wanted to let you know that in 2022 and 2023, you as our faculty and staff gave $104,980 to the foundation. And that's amazing participation. Student volunteers, this is an interesting one. If you attend graduation or you see in the Student Center, our students all year long are tabling, having bake sales, doing all kinds of things to raise money for peer scholarships for their fellow students. And this year they had a remarkable year, this past fiscal year, and they raised enough to offer 4 $500 scholarships, and they did it all by themselves. So, yay. If you see those students out, whether they're doing a mobile bake sale or they're out here or they're tabling at an event or they have the basket raffle or whatever it is they're doing, please support them because this is their initiative, and this not only ends up being something where we're able to support students, but Our students are amazing, and they embrace philanthropy. And our goal is to be able to give them that opportunity in that venue so that when they leave here and they go on, someday they come back and they're having a conversation with us about a transformational gift that they want to give back to Broome. So just closing the loop there. We had a number of new scholarships established last year, and we also received 4 large estate gifts totaling over $1.1 million. Those are in excess of our annual fundraising activities. So we have a very generous group of alumni that tend to remember us year after year. We kick off our faculty and staff campaign on Giving Day, which is always the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. We have 24 hours of giving. It's the day in which we raise the most money over the course of the year. And a lot of our alumni, faculty and staff, community friends, board members, trustees, anybody that loves Broome and supports us, a lot of them do so on that day. So if you haven't yet considered making a gift, there's a lot of easy ways to do that. If you want to wait till Giving Day, we always have snacks in our office and some fun activities to do. We would love to have your participation, and you know, everybody has a different threshold of how they can support us. All gifts matter because the collective power, if everybody in this room gave $1 a week out of their paycheck, would be significant for students in the coming year. So that's going to be held on, I don't know what it is, Tuesday after Thanksgiving. This was last year, their day of giving. And on that very day, we got $31,693 from faculty and staff. So thank you. Some of you will be seeing in the news, we're happy to, as part of our faculty and staff outreach, we created a employee recognition program, which is called the VIP campaign. So you'll be hearing more about that, and it is a campaign which just allows you as faculty and staff to recognize somebody that you work with or that you know that went above and beyond, that did something that the rest of the campus, might not know that person. And so there's no committee, there's no, you know, it's not, it's just a peer recognition. You want to give a shout out, we'll go over and recognize them. We give them their own VIP mug and VIP special brewed coffee that's roasted locally. And we'll be doing that this quarter, so watch for more to come on that. Just want to say that we, in conjunction with Marcom Department, once again, we're very blessed to receive a couple of awards from our peer institutional groups. SUNY Quad is a group of all of the marketing, communications, fundraising, and alumni engagement folks across the 64 campuses. And we got an award for a judge's citation for our VIP logo. It's like design, it can be anything from design to campaign to photography to whatever. And in addition, Matt Ebers, if you got a chance to see the hospitality hype video that he did, actually won an award from his peers at the state level too. So we're pretty excited about that. And the CASE award, CASE is the Council on Aid and Support to Education, and that is a global entity of which in our region, we're CASE District 2, which is Canada, all of the northeastern United States, and Washington, D.C. Our VIP program, the actual campaign and the concept of it, won a silver award for excellence. So we're pretty excited about that too, to get a shout out and recognized. A couple things I would like to ask from you. And the first is, please encourage your students to apply for scholarships. We have the money. And what we are seeing, obviously with enrollment decline, we do have less students on campus, but even our incoming students. If you have children that you know are coming to Broome, your neighbors, your friends, your family, anybody, please help us spread this message. This is an all hands on deck, and we are asking all of our governing bodies and everybody to help us with this for the coming year, because we have the money, we can't leave anything on the table. Now more than ever, our students need this support. So we're going to be asking you to share that in your classes. We're happy to come to any class and show you how to show the students how to use the application. It takes 15 minutes, and a 15-minute application with a 250-word essay can yield $2,000 for a student. You don't have to be the best student, you don't have to have the highest GPA. We have scholarships for all types of students in any program. Also, I always usually ask for a shout out. We do the Broome Magazine, Alumni Magazine. If you have any ideas or you'd be willing to share a story with us, we're always looking for content, so we appreciate that. And our alumni events, many of our fellow faculty and staff graduated from Broome or attended Broome. We invite all of our faculty and staff to all of our alumni events because it's just the bonus you get for working here. We have Tioga Downs coming up on September 9th, just to let you know. There's still time to register. It's $50. You get a dinner, you get hors d'oeuvres, you get 2 drink tickets, $10 in free play, and just a fun overall night. And then when you hit it big, you can come see me on Monday morning and we'll talk about your gift. Happy to see you, happy to be here, and look forward to an awesome semester.
Okay, so the best is yet to come. We're going to give you a 10-minute break, but please come back because the best part of the day is the student panel presentation. We'll give you 10 minutes, so if you could come back at 5 of, and we'll get started right away with the students. Thank you.
If there are any students in the room, please come up.
Now, latest recording, In the Mood.
ballet. You know, when you're younger, you do the etiquette thing. Hi. Uh-oh. Hi, everybody. Let's get our student panel started. Thank you guys for those of you who are staying. Um, I think I have another panelist coming. So let me explain the concept of the fishbowl. Just like it sounds. Hey there. I should have known that was you sitting outside. You know, fish are in their own little world, living life, and we always just stare at. This is the same concept. We're going to pretend like you're not here, and we're going to have a conversation. And we have Melissa who will be taking notes for us so that we can kind of summarize as we get to the end, and we can pull out some of the themes that we've heard across our conversation. But these are some of our very cool students that we have on campus, and I'm glad that they have decided to join us. There are a couple of more that are just going to come in and sneak up on stage like they've been here the whole time, which is great, and we welcome them as well. So let me just try to break the ice, and let's just start having a conversation, and you guys introduce yourselves.
I'm Josh Mizell. I'm a senior in the nursing program.
My name is Anna Tiberia. I'm in the nursing program, and I'm captain of the volleyball team.
I'm Lauren, and I'm hoping to get into the nursing program, and I'm a parent.
My name is Sasha Lofthouse. I'm a second-year engineering science major and the student assembly president.
And we know Sasha's dad is back there beaming with pride. So one of the first things that I want to ask you guys, because this year our theme is "This is who I am," and so when you think of the phrase "This is who I am," particularly with regards to your journey as students, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind is my son. So to have a great future for him, I obviously want to have a great career, so I start by coming here.
What about you, Josh?
Would probably have to be my two daughters as well. My two daughters. They are my motivation of why I do everything, I guess. So, and like she said, to have a better future for them.
So what you guys are saying is that your children define who you are.
I mean, not necessarily, but it's one of the number one things that I am is, first, I'm a parent, and then second, I just have a passion for taking care of other people. That's kind of why I've gotten into the nursing field. Like, I do private home health care. I take care of a woman that has dementia, and you know, I've bonded with an 84-year-old woman, and she's become like a really good friend of mine. You know, like, we talk, and you know, that I just enjoy taking care of people. I always have. So.
A parent and a caregiver.
I love to travel, you know, so I want to.
A traveling parent.
Yeah.
And a caregiver.
Yeah. I actually got a chance to go to Ireland for Global Healthcare for Ireland this past spring, and that was an eye-opening experience. You know, I got to see the healthcare system from a different perspective.
And so how did that international experience change your perspective on how we do healthcare in America, and how did it impact who you are as a healthcare giver?
Well, I learned a lot about the waiting list that they have to experience while over there. A lot of the people take on their own private health care in order, like our host family, he got told by the doctor in Donegal that he had to get a valve replacement on his heart. And, you know, he was the primary caregiver, like, you know, primary provider for his family, so he was nervous, he was scared. And then they ended up taking on the private healthcare insurance, and he got to go see a specialist in Dublin, and the specialist in Dublin was like, there's nothing wrong with your heart. You know, so if you can't afford access to the private health insurance, it kind of, you know, is a scary situation, because if one doctor is telling you one thing, you know, you can't afford a second opinion, and the wait list for a second opinion is going to be really long. And then another thing that I experienced over there is we got to take care of a bunch of the refugees from Ukraine, and you know, talking to the people using Google Translate, you know, they don't necessarily want to be there. They want to be back in their home country. You know, they're in a new environment. They're in a new, you know, a whole new world where they don't speak the language essentially. You know, and a lot of them were scared. You know, so it put a lot of perspective of how well we have it over here, I guess. You know what I mean? Because I would hate to be in a situation where you are in a new country and you don't know anybody, you don't know what's going to happen, if you're going to even have a home to go to. So.
What about you?
When I think about this is who I am, I try to think, in nursing school we talk a lot about our roles and how our roles identify us. So I think I'm a student, an athlete, a daughter, a lot of different roles.
And so within some of those roles as a daughter, are there any expectations that have been placed on you, particularly with regards to your collegiate journey? Do you feel any sense of obligation to your parents?
Of course, yeah. I feel like they motivate me to do good in school and athletics. They're really good about that kind of stuff. They want me to succeed and do the best that I can do. And
so how do you manage to balance all of that, the expectation of your parents, the expectation of school, as a student athlete? How do you balance that?
Try to get 8 hours of sleep every night. I would just say try and stay focused and do everything the best that you can do it. Yeah.
And so what kind of insecurities have you had about your journey in trying to be the best at everything?
I think it's normal to have insecurities. I think everybody has insecurities, and I try to use my insecurities to push myself to be better.
And so would you mind sharing what some of your insecurities are? You will mind?
No.
Okay.
I mean, last night we played Monroe in a volleyball game here, other gym over there, and we came really close to winning, and then we lost in 3 sets. And obviously, our whole team was not very happy about that, but then when we put it in perspective, that was our first game we ever played as a team, and we have a lot of work and growing to do, so I think we're all just using that to motivate us to do better in the next one.
So being a weekend athlete, I am, and being very competitive, and you're going into nursing, how do you take some of those characteristics as a competitive athlete and translate that into nursing and your pursuit of a nursing degree? Because that's one of the most highly stressed majors that just about anybody can go into.
Yes, it definitely is stressful. But what I've learned, one of the things I've learned about being on the volleyball team is that it's all about teamwork. And you can't win a game without depending on your teammates. And the same is true for nursing. If you want to take care of a patient in the right way, you have to think of care as the whole team. So it's not just the doctor, the nurse, this hierarchy that we all think of. It's everybody together as a team trying to make the patient feel better. I think that translates really well from volleyball to nursing.
So would you encourage everybody to play sports?
Well, for me personally, I work better. I have better grades, better motivation when I'm busy. So I know that when I'm in season, I have to get my work done at this time before the game or study on the bus or something like that. So I would say, if you think that you're like that, do sports. So it depends on the person, I guess. But I think for me, I love it.
Okay. Sasha, what about you? When you hear the phrase, "This is who I am," what comes to mind?
A work in progress. I feel that at this stage in my life, and probably for the rest of it, I am constantly learning, growing, and adapting as a student, as a leader, and as a friend, and a son and a person.
So, welcome Alejandro and Heba. We're just going to pretend like you jumped in the fishbowl. We're talking about who you are and what brought you to this journey and what impact does this journey have on who you are. You want to go to Alejandro first? Okay, Alejandro.
Sure. So I'm Alejandro Chavarria, and who I am is it's a great question because I was originally born in Mexico, and I lived there for 12 years of my life. But when I moved here, I lived my middle school and high school years here. So I was raised here, but also down there. So it's an interesting dynamic, but I think I really enjoy it. And who I am, I'm a student, I'm a son, I'm a trustee, I'm an RA, but I'm also a friend, and I think that's probably one of the favorite things I am. But I think being part of Broome and this journey for me, it's about not only just getting an education, but getting to make some change and trying to accomplish some interesting things is ultimately my goal. And I'm very grateful for that journey, for all the ups and downs, and I think it's only made me a better person, and from every single good thing and bad thing, I've been able to learn something, and for that I'm very grateful, and I'm continuing that journey until it ends, I guess, yeah.
So, Alejandro, you briefly mentioned some challenges and some downs that you've had in this journey. Can you talk about that and how it has influenced or impacted your goals?
Sure. So usually the downs happen when I have this goal in mind, and whatever happens is the furthest thing away from that. So whether it could be not exactly related to Broome, but it could be like regarding immigration, where you want to be somewhere, but then you don't really get there, and you have to go through this process, or whether it is different goals we have as student assembly, and where we have this goal in mind and we're not able to get to that, but I think every time we're learning something from it. So we learned that our voice is a lot bigger than what we expected, that we have a lot more power than we thought, more reach. And so I think from I think I don't like failing, but I like in the fact that I'm able to share with other people different failures I've had. So I definitely like failing in the sense that I can go up to someone that is going to be in a similar role or in a similar position, and I can share with them like, hey, I did this and it didn't work, and this is how we can make sure that you learn from my mistakes and then reach an even better place. And I was able to.
Yeah, but when you hear "This is who I am," what comes to your mind?
That's a very interesting question in terms of how I have the perception of myself. I tend to be very critical of my own goals, my failures, my choices in life. I analyze everything to the biggest extent, and then I take the decision that feels the best. Oftentimes it is not oftentimes, sometimes it works in my favor, other times it doesn't, and that's okay. When I think of who I am, I think of many things. I think that I am the result of my immigrant parents' sacrifices. I'm the accomplishment of their hard work, and I am someone who's still discovering myself, who I am, who I want to be in the world, how I want to make that change. I'm a very, and this is a very repetitive answer that you guys have heard already so many times right now, but amongst most of the things right now, currently in life, I'm a student. I'm a friend to a lot of people that I consider very close to me. I'm a leader to those that do like to believe in me, that do like to put their belief in me. I am an international student. I'm representing 2 countries on my behalf right now, and I like to believe that I want to carry that with me and I want to carry that, I'm not going to say burden, that responsibility on me with the most pride I possibly can.
Are any of you on the panel first generation students, college students? What kind of pressure or what kind of thoughts run through your head or ran through your head when you were about to start this journey, particularly as a first gen?
I didn't have a lot of support. My family always thought that, working long hours was, the American dream, which it is. It's wonderful, but I think education is really, the American dream, because you can go so far in life and do so many things you never thought you could. With, we have a wonderful community college. We have BU down the street. So with all these great resources, I think we can pretty much do, and go wherever we want to.
Were there any insecurities that you felt as you began?
I was very lost. I felt a lot of pressure because I had been out of school for so long, and so getting back into the groove and like trying to understand things, and I know teachers are very busy with other students, and I was able to reach out to a counselor, which helped guide me in the right direction, which was very, very helpful. And she introduced me to other wonderful relationships I had with other people that work here.
What about you, Sasha? I know Sasha's got a lot of pressure because Sasha's got a parent who's a faculty member here. So for me, that's just a whole nother ball of beans, because there's a resource there, but you've also got to be able to grow up, and you've got to be you. So how have you managed?
As in managed, like having a parent on campus, or
Yes.
managed? Okay.
And managed in your journey?
Well, I feel very fortunate to have a parent on campus, Chairperson Robert Lofthouse. And for me, it really aided my journey, especially at the beginning of it. Due to life circumstances, I really needed a lot of support at the beginning of my college journey, and it was very fortunate that I had that support on campus. And when I think back to all of the lovely things my father really encouraged me to do, I think to meeting with a counselor and counseling service, I think to getting things in order with ARO, I think to, the biggest one for me was joining student assembly and joining clubs and getting involved on campus. And I had all of these pushes in the right direction. And it's really challenging for me to imagine someone in my same situation without similar supports. And I think in my journey as a student, I have found so many supportive individuals on campus, specifically faculty and staff, that have been able to guide me on my journey and give me those supports. And I think it's so important that students have connections with faculty and make meaningful relationships and have mentorship relationships that guide them on their journey, because I don't think college is something that anyone can do alone. Especially, one thing that I found especially beneficial is forming relationships with faculty and staff that I have common ground with and that I can identify with and that feel like represent my experience, because every student here comes from a diverse background of diverse experience, and all of our experiences guide us to the choices we make and the reasons we do the things we do. So having someone who can level with you or meet you where you're at can really be the difference between brushing off a potential support and really tuning in to, oh, this person knows me or has an idea of me that I hold in my heart. So yeah, I think it's really important that students have connections with faculty and other students to support them in their educational journey, not only as students in the academic sense, but human beings with diverse lived experience and diverse needs. And if someone's human needs are not met, it is very challenging to be a successful student.
Josh, in your experience, particularly, and when you think of nursing, you see mostly women in that field.
Yeah.
And so, as a male going into nursing, and people probably have said, "Why aren't you a doctor? Why aren't you pursuing becoming a doctor?" What kind of thoughts went through your head, and what kind of supports did you need, or do you need, being in what's considered a non-traditional field for men?
Well, first of all, we all know that nurses are better than doctors.
Oh.
All right, we're the backbone of the hospital. No, but so yeah, that's a good question because it is very. But we do see that there's a lot more male nurses that are coming in to the field. I've just always been open and like I've never been judgmental of people. So like, you know, I've always found common ground with them, even if they come from a different background of life. You know, I've always found a way to, you know, level with them and, you know, get to know who they are and not just the person that they, you know, like their true self. So I feel like the life skills that I have, I think I won't run into too many issues as long as I don't go like OB, you know, which I don't want to do that anyway. So I'm gonna do, like when I'm done, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try to get my master's in psychiatric mental health. And so, you know, I think that career is where I'm destined to be, because there's just not enough help for people, you know, and we all have struggles, and you know, we all need some sort of therapy, whether it's a support system, someone to confide in and vent to or talk to. But you know, there have been times where I'm looking around and I'm just surrounded by all girls, you know. So it's been a challenge, but it's something that I'm overcoming because, you know, I feel like I'm more of like being a male in the program. They're like, you know, on the floor talking to other nurses, they're like, oh, a guy, awesome, you know, somebody that can help, you know, lift a patient or something like that. So.
What about you, Alejandro? What insecurities have you had about this journey?
Sure, I think so. What insecurities? I think, for example, for me, it's been since I came from Mexico, I went to high school in Windsor, which is it's a great school. However, I went from living in Mexico with my culture and then going to Windsor, where, you know, 98% of people there are, you know, are white people, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it was for me that you are in this environment, and then out of a sudden you're in this complete new environment where you don't have those people to relate with and the people that you can identify with. And so at first when that happened, I wasn't really worried about that. I was more about, you know, getting through school and getting things done and adapting. But as, you know, as my journey has gone on and on, now that I'm in college, you know, I want to make those connections, and I want to meet more people that have been in similar situations as I have. And I think that's something that's been very important to me, and to meet other people, whether, you know, they're on this campus or in different campuses, and just making that connection and just feeling like I'm able to relate to someone, to me has been extremely important as I've been just kind of learning and being on this journey of understanding empowerment and all those things. And just, I think for me, at Broome, for example, it's been connecting with people, even just in general, like Professor Laufhaus, Sasha's father. He is a father to almost every single engineering student because he's helped me a lot, and he's offered so much help that I could have never imagined. And those kind of relationships to me are extremely gratifying, and it's just, meeting those people that are willing to do everything to help you move forward. And so those insecurities of, am I alone? Will nobody understand me? All those things, it's working through that and just like meeting those people like Professor Laufhaus and like Dr. Nick and all those people that are willing to help us. And that's how I've been able to overcome my insecurities.
Hiba, what two countries are you representing?
I am very much representing Pakistan and Saudi Arabia.
Okay. And so how has your life journey defined who you are and is bringing you to the college and your experience here?
Ever since I was really ever since I was young, my parents made a big point of making sure that we understood the value of education. They are both college graduates. My mom is a doctor, my dad's an engineer. For me, there's no second option. You have to go for higher education. And I see nothing wrong with that. If you choose not to pursue that, that's your choice. But for me personally, I think that was the correct choice. That even though it was like instilled in me in a way, I feel that my parents, they made sure to teach me the value of education and what it can do to you and what it can do for you in life. College is so much more than just going to classes and getting your degree. If you do put the time and effort in, you can realize how much value you can learn of life, of people, connections. For me, that journey, I was born in Pakistan, but I moved to Saudi Arabia when I was like 6, and I spent 13, 14 years of my life there. And I think seeing those two, I grew up in completely different cultures, two completely different environments. I carry both of those with complete pride in my heart because I've seen the lifestyle, the way my parents, how hard my parents worked in both countries to get me to the point that I am today. I see that for me, in college, specifically here at Broome, there's a lot of factors of why I am here in terms of being an international student. But one of the main factors is so that I can explore what kind of options I have further if I do choose to transfer to a 4-year. I decided to go to like a community college because I jumped, this may sound very stupid from someone who's in a fishbowl, but I jumped headfirst into a computer science degree because I enjoyed coding during COVID, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And I have enjoyed it so far. But for me to just like jump in head first, I wanted to be able to explore those options, and community college gives you a very easy path to do that. It lets you explore those options, and it lets you make those connections to see if you really, really do like it. And so far, I have enjoyed it very much. And just being someone who has grown up in multiple cultures and seen multiple things in life in terms of experiences, I feel that really left me kind of empty when I came here because initially I did not find a lot of people that I could like communicate with about how I was feeling. Last semester there weren't very many international students either that I could properly like share my grief with, that I'm so alone. But I did find that, like Alejandro said, you need to make those connections on your own. No one is coming to you. You have to go to them. You have to make those connections. You have to be able to help yourself with faculty, with staff, and with people and students in general, like student assembly or being part of clubs and committees and organizations. Those have really made my journey here at Broome so much easier, and I would recommend that to like every student here. Just join clubs.
But if we are, as an institution, supposed to meet you where you are, how can we do that students, particularly international students, and they're coming to Binghamton, where diversity is not as great as you've got an international mentality, you've got a global perspective, you have a global perspective. What can we do on our end?
I believe that since, especially I'm just speaking from an international student perspective, when you come to a city like Binghamton, that is in the middle of upstate New York, very, very less diverse, and this entire campus in general as well, it is predominantly Caucasian students, or students of color are very less in comparison to that. And even lesser than that are international students. So in that sense, I believe I think your question is in terms of faculty, trying to reach out to those students. I would say just make the effort to speak to them first, because we are lost. This is a jungle, and we're trying to explore our way through. We are lost here until we are helped. And I appreciate the help of my international coordinators that helped me initially when I got here, to make sure that I knew what my classes were, where I was going, I remember I was on a video chat with my international coordinator, Maria Basualdo. She was on a video chat with me, and I was like, I don't know what AT means. And she's like, it's the Applied Technology Building, you're gonna go here and there. She explained the whole thing to me. And it was really nice of her to do that. So just making that connection and reaching out, asking about what they need from you, instead of what they might, this might be their first time even away from home. Like me, I've never lived away from my family. And now living in housing and living away from family, no one that I can potentially reach, that is in my reach within 2 hours. I can't do that. And just making sure that they don't feel alone, because it can get really, really tough if you don't have that support.
What about you, Lauren? What has happened in your life and at Broome to perpetuate insecurities, and how have you been able to cope?
With the help of people here, like the Family Enrichment Program, they've definitely helped get my son into daycare, so I could. Sorry, I'm getting emotional because it means so much to me. They helped me. I'm sorry, I'm going to take a break.
Okay. Break. Talk to me, Anna. What has happened in your life and in this journey and at Broome to even perpetuate insecurities, or have made you think twice that maybe this isn't for me, and how have you managed to cope?
I think that going to Broome for nursing straight out of high school is a little different than some of my friends going to four-year programs for nursing, because they are doing all of their prerequisite classes first, taking all of their anatomies and all of that other stuff, and then moving on to their 2 years of clinical after. And sometimes I think, oh, would it be better if I just went away to get that full bachelor's degree straight out from high school? But when I really think about it, I think Broome was the right decision for me, because I'll have started off with 2 years of clinical straight from the get-go. And once you get that knowledge in clinical, that never goes away. And then after this year, once I pass my NCLEX, I can get working right away. And I will still be going for my bachelor's, hopefully straight after this, but I do think that sometimes I get a little insecure about coming here first, but I think that it was definitely the right choice.
Is it the peer pressure that everybody thinks you're supposed to have a four-year degree, and the reputation of Broome that Broome used to have, Yale by the jail, Front Street High, I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head, but was that it?
I do think that that definitely was something that I heard in high school, you know, oh, you're going to Broome? But I'm really impressed with everything here, and I know that the faculty is really great. I've met a lot of great people here that have helped me along my journey, and I'm impressed. I'm glad I went here.
And so how do we dispel that myth?
I would say just keep working hard to be aware that people do say these things about Broome, and if you have more students like these up here that give Broome the thumbs up, once that word gets out, it'll keep pushing and those rumors will go away, I think.
What do you think, Josh?
I think to like get rid of those rumors, probably just getting more involved in the high schools, you know, and showing them that, hey, like, you can get a 2-year degree and go right into the work field, and then you can go from there. Like, they have the bridge program where you can get into Broome or Binghamton University fairly easy, you know, taking the classes that they require, and just showing them what Broome is, that it is a jumping point to wherever you want to go in life, you know. And if you don't want to go home or go away from college for college, you know, because that can be a whole scary thing itself, you know, being far away from your family or whatever, and just showing them that, yeah, like, this is a jumping point. This is a great place to start. And I mean, the experience that I've had in the nursing field, the professors that I've met are world class. They are phenomenal. They've helped me a lot, you know, being a male in the nursing program. And, you know, I didn't have a medical background when I started. I drove a forklift, and then I had my second daughter, and I became a stay-at-home dad, basically. And then I was like, you know what, I'll go to college. And my first idea was going to go to radiation technician program, but I suck at physics, and there was just no way that I could do that. And so then I was like, you know what, I'll try the nursing field, and I love it. And the professors are so amazing and helpful, and you can pretty much email them at any time, and they will respond to you, and they will get back to you with your question, or if you need help, their office hours are, you know, flexible, and they will meet with you. You just have to reach out, and if you don't reach out and you're not doing well, it's your problem, you know, because they are available at almost 24/7. So.
Sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry, because college is an emotional journey. It's a physical journey, and when you bring all of you, this is who you are. You're very passionate about what this journey is about, and you have every right to tear up because you got a lot going on.
Yeah, it's just tears of joy because, like, I was a stay-at-home mom, so I know how that feels. And, you know, you think your life is just going to be that. And when I was able to meet with my counselor, Dina, which is amazing, she guided me to Lori, who said, you know, you can have your life back. And that's what I did. And it's just emotional to go from that to where I am now. It's like, sorry.
Oh, I know, me too. Because this journey is supposed to give you your life back. It's supposed to give you a life and a purpose. And for me, it's our responsibility to pull out of you what you don't even know that's there. And so when we do that, we get you guys. And I've been doing this, good grief, since I was 33 years old, for a long time. And I chose SUNY Broome because of the students that I met on my interview, like you guys. And you're the reason why we're here. We don't always get it right. We get it right a heck of a lot of times. And far be it from me to look at you twice because you feel good and emotional about what we've done to help you get there. And so, last thoughts. Hibba, why is this journey important to you?
I think it is important in many ways because it is important for me to be here right now. I think I there's a reason why I'm here. I'm still trying to figure out the entirety of it, but for right now, I know that the reason why is for me to explore myself, my options, what I want to do in life. I know in my head that I've planned out this 10-year plan in my head. I know it's like a chart on top of my bed that I look at every morning. No, there's really not one, but
You don't even have a vision board.
a vision board that's going to say I'm going to be a millionaire at 30. There's There's really not one, I swear. But in my head, there's this plan. But I know that in the 2 years that I am going to be here, or maybe more, the time that I'm going to be here at Broome, I am meant to figure out what I want in those 10 years. Not everything, but maybe some things that I want down the line there, here, however many times that may be. And it is important for me to learn how to adapt to certain things. I think the biggest reason is for me to learn, and that I should learn how to live in places I've never been, how to meet people I've never met. I never thought that, till this morning, I didn't think that I would be speaking here, but but now I'm here. I'm answering questions.
You're here too.
Anything for you, Dr. Ross. But but yeah, it's just one of those things that you have to learn to adapt, and you have to learn how to live. You have to learn to be the strongest version of yourself. And I think being here at Broome and facing those challenges, as many as there may be, I have to learn to power through those just to be able to ready for what's to come next in life. And I think this is a very good stepping stone for that.
Sash.
This experience here at Broome is so important to me, and I know that I will cherish it for the rest of my life. I am here like every other student to get my education, to learn, to invest in myself. I don't know where I'd be without Broome, and if I were to show myself 1 year ago where I am now, and the people I've surrounded myself with, and the things I've accomplished and hope to accomplish, I think my head would explode. I'm also here as a leader, as many of us are, and I believe it's my responsibility to speak for marginalized and underrepresented communities. I do belong to many of them, and I do think it's important to name. I am a student of color. I am a member of the LGBTQ+ community. I do struggle with disabilities, or I live with disabilities, and I am on a mental health journey. And those are all aspects of who I am and what I bring to the table. And there are so many diverse and marginalized experiences that I have no lived experience with. And that's why it's so important for me as a student leader to listen to other students, to embrace all experiences, and to be the voice for as many students as I possibly can. Because, and I just have to say, what you shared really touched me. I did tear up. Because this is why we're here. Community college is a gift. Being here is a gift. Frankly, when I walked into it, I was like, oh, you know, I'm here. That's where I ended up. But I am so grateful to be here, because this is an amazing institution. And we as a community, I believe, have the responsibility to uplift ourselves and each other, because we are all capable of so much.
Why is this journey important to you?
It's important to me as a person to live my dream as a nurse. I've been a caregiver for 15 years. So I knew it was what I always wanted to do, and I had this passion inside of me, but to carry it out was so much harder. But I'm so glad I had the power and the resources I did to do it.
Why is this important to you, Anna?
This is very important to me because my time here at Broome is my stepping stone for the rest of my entire life. Here I am getting my nursing degree so that I can go on and be a nurse, maybe be a nurse practitioner one day, who knows, we'll see. I'm making memories, I'm making friends on the volleyball team. This is something that I'm never going to forget for the rest of my life, the good memories that I have here. So I would say that's definitely important.
Josh.
To quote my 9-year-old daughter, so we can start living our best life. um, she is my biggest supporter. She asks me how I did on my exams, everything like that. So to show her that, you know, no matter where you come from in life and, you know, wherever you end up, you can do anything, you know, as long as you put your mind to it. So.
Alejandro, why is this journey important to you?
This journey is extremely important to me because it means to have accomplished all these things. And for example, something I was just thinking about was, you know, this past fall, I went to Washington, D.C. because of this scholarship I won nationally. And, you know, I met all these students, and I met students from Harvard and all these places, and there was like not a single community college student there. And to some extent, you know, it made me think, oh, you know, when everyone was sharing where they come from, you know, what school they come from, I would have loved to said, you know, university this or whatever, but, you know, at the end of the day, it was powerful for me to say, you know, SUNY Broome Community College, because I see it as, you know, I come from a community college, and, you know, a lot of people might overlook that, but I'm just so proud of, you know, the fight that I've gone through to get there and to accomplish the things I have. And this is so important to me because I see it as what I'm doing is I'm trying to not only, you know, reach my goals and earn my degree and make my parents proud and the people around me proud, but also just show other students in similar situations as me that, you know, what can be done and how we can do different things. And for me, I just love the idea of other people seeing some of the things I've done and, you know, being just motivated just a little bit and just knowing that, oh, you know, like, we can do this, and, you know, this is a valid path, and this is a place where, you know, we should be.
Thank you guys for sharing.
Wow. Wow. Okay, authentic me. I cry a lot. So I hope I wasn't the only one in a chair with just being inspired by your stories, your passion, and really thank you for articulating clearly for us why we are here. I have no doubt that this group of students will be successful. It's clear that they are on the right path. They're driven, they're motivated, they've managed their very busy lives and are going to be very successful. But there are also many students that are not like these students here. And they deserve to be heard, they deserve to be nurtured, they deserve to have connections, they deserve to have focus and attention of the things, the gifts that they bring to our classrooms. So thank you very much, Alejandro, Sasha, Hippa, and Josh and Lauren. And did I get them all? Anne. Did I say Anne? Did I not say Anne? Anne. Thank you very much for sharing and getting us started this year, really understanding who you are and really what you bring to our classrooms every day. Without you, without your lived experiences, and without your taking time to really develop yourselves in what we think is important, education, without you and your passion, we would really have, you know, boring, dull lives with nothing really fun to do. So thank you very much for sharing. I would like everyone just to remember this day. Remember this day. We'll continue to introduce you to new students who are going to explain and express who they are and why they're here. And hopefully by the end, we'll have a clearer picture of what we do here at Broome and what services we can provide for our students so that they're all successful. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your day. Once again, a wonderful round of applause for our students. I'm going to let the tears flow because I've been trying to hold them back, and really have a wonderful, successful start to the fall semester. Take care. Thank you.